Today we have the illustrious Vishanti. Hi. Um,
Woo!
I tell everybody kind of. I don't know. Do you have an elevator pitch?
We
I always
match.
have an elevator pitch.
Hey,
It just
go for
depends
broke.
on what the forum is as to what elevator pitch that's going to be.
Um, your
Uh,
your bad science credentials.
well, I'm not a scientist, if that's what
Linguistics
you're
counts.
talking about. I mean, I've been involved in to various degrees in the debunking community for 4 or 5 years. Started out with flat Earth, and then got into like debunking anti-vax, and then all the other conspiracies that are secondary to that. Because once you start on one conspiracy, it tends to avalanche right down into anti-Semitism. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I didn't know you did. What do you call it? Flat Earth.
that's actually how I met a lot of people in this community. That's how I met.
Well,
Yeah, that's
oh,
actually
so
how I met Dapper Dinosaurs, because we were both, I guess, debunking flat earthers and various other woo peddlers. Yeah, he was
Interesting.
a friend of
I
a
have a
friend, and
question.
so like we just started chatting.
You have a
I have a
question?
question. So what you're saying is that this show, Bad Science Sunday, should totally cover flat Earth,
She
right?
did not say that. She did not say that.
It sounded like every excellent program got their.
See, this is why we fight a lot.
I had to step back from the flat Earth stuff because they never have any new arguments, and I was getting really tired of hearing the Jews did it or NASA's run by the
God.
Jews. I was done. That just gets
Yeah.
exhausting
Okay.
and
Yeah.
boring after a while. So I was like, let me just switch gears to something else.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine. We have to do the whole thing when people have a belief or so non-atheist. Um, you identify as, I'm sorry, identify. You are Jewish.
Mhm.
Is that correct?
Yep, 100%.
Um, do you have an elevator pitch for the Jewish thing? Like, you don't actually worship a God that
Well,
forces everybody to like carry babies
yeah,
and
first of all, we don't proselytize, so
Yeah.
I'm not looking
That's
to convert anybody. Like, if you want to, okay, cool. We'll leave the light on for you, but I couldn't care less if people want to be Jewish or not. It's fine. Uh, we are usually on the forefront of a lot of justice movements because abortion is a thing that we're actually commanded to do if the life of the parent is in jeopardy. So if somebody's pregnant and it's going to endanger the person carrying the baby to term, um, they are like, nope, you need to abort because your life is more important than a, you know,
oh, is it
not
just me
believe at
or
all.
are you having it? Do you hear the mic? Or
How are you?
is it me?
I'm. I think it
Maybe.
might be you. I don't.
Okay, okay. I'm sorry, you're
Uh,
kind of going in and out. Am I going in and out?
I
no.
can hear you just fine.
Okay, we'll go with
Yeah.
that. All right. Sorry to break you up.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, we're really, there's not a lot of us, so we always need allies when we're trying to fight for rights and stuff, and particularly from Christian nationalists because they're very invested in suppressing and oppressing various groups of people. So if they have their way, I won't actually be able to practice parts of my tradition just because they think it's wrong. It's like, okay, fine. If you don't want to get an abortion, then don't get one. Whatever. If they're like bigoted, then okay, don't get gay married. I don't understand why they need to
Yeah, it's fine. It's
do
totally
this.
fine. You don't have to get gay married. We will still love you.
Yeah, like just don't do it. Maybe that's a little naive, but I'm like,
I mean, I can't count the number of times that I've accidentally ended up gay married when I didn't want to be. Oh wait, I can. We did invent the number 0 in the last few millennia.
We did indeed.
yeah. So
And yeah, because I saw you from your many appearances on Dapper Dino show, and
Who?
you've been debunking a lot of apologists, and
Who's Dapper Dino?
I have no idea.
I'm
And
gagged.
recently, and I'm so glad I didn't do the Moorish American thing, because I was in between a couple of vids, and then I saw you on a show of a creator's name I can't remember yesterday, and I was like,
Fossil Daddy?
I'm glad I did not go with that one, because you look so annoyed.
Was it Fossil Daddy? That was the last time I think we talked.
What was the one you did yesterday? It was a BHI guy.
Oh yeah. That was with Dapper Dinosaur and Dr. Kip.
Dr. Kip is awesome. Yeah, friend of the show. He was on here in January doing, what do we do? Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah, and
Dead Sea Squirrels?
Is,
I heard Dead Sea Squirrels. I just want to be clear.
I tend to live more in the, I don't want to say defense, because that sounds like an apologist, and I'm not interested in doing apologetics, but just clearing up misinformation about Judaism and the Jewish texts and the history and the development of that. Because most people only know what Christians have told them or what Christian theology tells them, and it is very far from accurate in most cases. So anytime I can clear that up is a good thing.
Yeah,
less danger for me.
We did the we did kind of a minor stop too with the whole like Judeo-Christian, like if people could just stop saying that. Yeah, because like the more if you were to ever talk to a Jew, like ever in your life, about what they believe, it's almost like you're reading different books. Like even with the Hebrew Bible, no, I mean not even with like the Christian part. The Hebrew Bible is just what do you call it? Not translated, but interpreted. So starkly different. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing that you find the more that you learn the language and the more that you study the text is that it is not, definitive in a lot of places. The language is ambiguous, and at some point you have to make yourself comfortable with that ambiguity. And that's something that, like, fundamentalist Christians especially are not comfortable with. They do not like unanswered questions or ambiguous things or gray areas. They like things to be black or white, yes or no, this or that, and that's just not the way that the text works.
Yeah. I mean, which is great if you're a smooth brain, but like things don't in life. Most things operate in the gray area, and are designed to have more than one application.
Yeah, and I mean, just the fact that the book is an anthology, that's gonna trap you up, because you get a lot of different philosophies, you get a lot of different theologies, you have different moral frameworks, so it's kind of annoying to hear one thing from Christians or fundamentalist Christians, and then on the opposite end of the spectrum hear the same sort of crap from people who are just like, no, it's all bad. I'm like, look, it's not all good or all bad, it's in the middle. There are some things in there that are really cool, and there's some things in there that are morally not okay.
Right.
You can have both of those things at the same time.
And
unwelcome nuance, I suppose.
Yeah.
Secular Sakai sends $2, and I think that's a mic drop. So
yes.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Unwelcome nuance. I can't believe that was a real comment. It's
one for the ages.
Right? When was that?
That was a few years ago in the comments.
Yeah.
On Dapper.
So okay, for people...
I read all of my comments, even if I don't respond to them. I read them all, and I've been okay so far. I've put a couple of wacky ones in my like in the Discord just to laugh with the friends in my mod group. But
I'm bad at.
Usually, yeah, you really are. But usually, it's really positive, happy comments.
Every once in a while, there's a.
But I understand that I'm in a minority there. Very few women on the internet have been as lucky as me. I'm getting. But yeah. So
all right, what tortures have you lined up for me today?
And again, I'm gonna do the disclaimer. We're we're doing LA Marzulli. And again, we have Christians in the chat, and we love the Christians. And I have super cool Christians in the chat.
This is not an anti-religious show.
It isn't. It isn't. Again, it is generally bad science because Dr. T is an actual atomic physicist. He does the science in the lab. I have a master's in psychology, and if you don't think psychology is a science, fuck you. I'm just going to leave it there. I am not a scientist, but I do have a master's degree in a science. So usually we like to do the science, but the show exists to counter bad belief systems. We actually started doing bad say bad I think
Like
those videos like
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
is like inherent in saying that we looked at ghost videos and also cryptid videos, and for whatever reason cannot get a
I
cryptid.
have fun with cryptids. They're entertaining. They're not real, but that's entertaining. I grew up watching the X-Files. I love cryptids.
Yes, as do we. We do them from time to time. But we do tend to stick with the science, and like Bad Belief Sunday was just, I don't know.
Also, like social science and history isn't a science, but it has it relies on critical thinking in a very similar way.
Well, if it makes you feel any better or worse, L.A. Marzulli can't keep himself from making bad science claims. So I'm sure that throughout his journey, he will absolutely mention giants or UFOs or Nephilim or something. And
well, okay, so well, hold on. I want to get two things out of the way first. We like to highlight the number of subscribers that our subject has.
Oh, wait, real quick before you do that, I do want to thank you, Sinister Porpoise, for reminding us that today is Women's History Month. Vishanti is helping us jump off a series of women in the community who I think are pretty badass. Generally speaking, I want to showcase people who have are like doing a lot of content, but have content and doing things like that. And
why'd you have me on? I have like almost no videos.
You have more content than I do.
I don't know. You guys are kind of neck and neck.
There is a grand total of one actual video that people could label as content on my channel. So
infinitely more than me.
Yes.
And it's a mirror of a stream I did on somebody else's channel.
You guys actually do similar things, though, as far as like helping create really content for the community. And so that's why you are here. You do help educate you are a science educator in the community. So.
Yeah, you just do it more and better than I do.
I mean, I used to be a teacher, so it comes somewhat naturally to me, but I'm a burgeoning hopeful scholar because I'm actually in some history classes right now.
I've been able to weave my way through academia without ever having actual teaching responsibilities. It's a pretty sweet gig.
That's nice.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I didn't, not to cut you off. You know I love to do that, but you may go.
So we got our friend L.A. Marzulli here. And we've got a sweet 211,000 subscribers with a comparatively, I would say, paltry 11,000 views. So, hopefully we can beat that ratio and hopefully both of those numbers as well. That would be fantastic. And the title of the video is not particularly informative. So, you know what? We're just going to get into it right here.
It'll be fun. I promise.
Okay.
It'll be
fun. Right out of the gate,
there is a supernatural world that surrounds us, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me. You'll hear.
There is a supernatural world which surrounds us, and sometimes it manifests to you and me.
Look, that is not the usual opening that he has. Usually he opens with something along the lines of, there is a secret history that's been deliberately obfuscated, and then he lost.
Is it about the Nephilim?
Yeah, and some of those are his own. Most of those are his own books, by the way.
It's a lot. Harper's Magazine. I mean, this doesn't look like a magazine.
But yeah, he's got a bunch of his books sitting over there on the other side.
Stories about this, so much more.
Easily 2/3 of this video will be him shilling products, either for some ridiculous like Patriot Prepper meal kit thing, or buy and invest in gold.
Yeah, that's
Or
why
it's
and we're not
gonna
going
be
to show
him
that.
promoting his books and DVDs. So whenever there's
yeah,
something,
that's why I was saying to start. Like, was it 3 minutes in or something like that?
Yeah,
Because
but his
Okay.
opening is. I mean, that's
Okay.
what we're doing. We're going to do that. We're going to
Right here
Gotcha,
Okay.
on
gotcha.
Supernatural Confrontations.
ooh, loving this VHS quality.
Silver. Josh Peck.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
see right
here
there,
we are.
it's like 2 or 3 minutes of shilling.
Exactly. I have no such thing. Okay, I do not embrace demonology, Spooky, and I resent the implication.
Look,
Okay.
if people want to believe in the supernatural, whatever, doesn't bother me. It's not scientific, but whatever, it doesn't affect my life really in any material
Magnets
way.
are not demons, except they might be demons, is my point. It's not a coherent point. I'm scared. I can't explain it.
Thanks again for coming in for part 2. Really appreciate it. We were talking about all things UFO. We were all over the map.
I don't
Oh, by
doubt
the
it.
way, L.A. Marzulli is of the school of thought that UFOs are actually like demonic encounters, that extraterrestrial sightings actually are demonic or interdimensional somehow.
Yes, that's going to be most of this videos. Them explaining how that ties into the rapture.
Oh, brother. Ugh.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
You're going to love me so much at the end of this.
All right. Okay.
And continuing here on how to win friends and alienate people. Let's go.
For some of you out there, it's almost like shorthand because we're going bip, 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 bip. But one of the things I want to get into, we touched on a little bit last time, is it possible that they just, because of the protocols of the Heavenly War, these entities just can't...
The protocols of the Heavenly War. You see, there's rules in place for war between spiritual entities that have to be followed. Like,
I also, anytime I hear the word protocols from one of these people...
I know, I start going, ah!
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, okay, where are, like,
Is there something I'm missing? Is there some
I
background
clenched
into the
a little bit.
word protocol that I'm missing? Is it a flat earth thing?
So there's a infamous screed called the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, which was fabricated by Russian anti-Semites, and it purports to lay out the super evil secret plans of the Jewish cabal that's trying to take over the world.
Yeah, it's the evil Jewish QAnon Illuminati.
Oh, I missed that in my evil Jewish QAnon Illuminati stream.
Well, I mean, now that you know, gotta kill you.
We're gonna have to do another one.
Or it's a topic that comes up a lot.
It does, though. It really
It is
does.
one of it's
like
one
no,
of
it's
the
like
absolute
often.
cornerstones of
Probably every
modern
other stream
anti-Semitic
at least.
literature. So.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we all just talked over each other.
Sorry. Shanti, what did you say? I'm gonna shut up.
I was just saying that the Protocols of the Elders of Zion, that's one of like the foundational texts of modern anti-Semitism.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a bingo card full of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I actually, I haven't seen it in a while. Telltale did a whole stream on that, and it was the first and only time I've actually heard it mentioned explicitly. But I remember, now that you're saying that, it reminds me of like holy crap, like it's their entire, like it's like their 2025 plan. Honestly, like you can tie all their ideations back to that.
What year was it written?
That was like turn of the century.
Was it? Okay. So it was
late 19th century.
It was before the guy with the bad mustache wrote his terrible screed.
Yeah, I mean, not by much though.
Okay.
I don't keep like a running list of publication dates in my brain, so you might want to look.
Oh my god. Apparently I totally missed like a bunch of gift memberships from Left-Handed Jedi. I am so sorry. Left-Handed Jedi gifted 10 Tapioca Weasel memberships to the chat.
Weasel Cult?
Jedi, you are, yes. We have 10 new cult members. due to left-handed Jedi.
Nicole.
Scott Stanton and debunked. Tom Talty, Hecklick, Brian Stevens. Yay, Brian Stevens, somebody I know. John Papiano, gonna go for it. Katrina Peck Bias, Robin Webster. Whoa.
Oh dang, he's gonna
No,
be
I'm
advancing.
gonna go for it. Yeah. That's where it stopped. I'm sorry. But yeah, Katina already has one. Robin already has one. Lieutenant Jedi is the GOAT. Thank you. And thank you, Bree, for letting me know, because I'm really lazy and I won't put my notifications on.
Yeah. I'm curious, do you always get up and do a little dance anytime there's new members?
I know.
Sort of thing.
You cultist. It's
Okay.
It's the bee's
People
knees.
pay for this?
This is my first time over here, so I'm not sure what the culture is.
Oh, I mean, you know, I'm so the whole thing about this channel is I'm conning Maya into starting a cult for me.
Oh,
Well, I mean,
okay.
it kind of already happened. So
It's fantastic.
Come in and take whatever they want and do whatever they want. I'm not privy to those protocols. No human being is that we know. But it seems like the Book of Enoch, there's that quid pro quo thousands of years ago where they give mankind technology. It's primitive by our means today, but nonetheless, it's weapon making and
Wait a gosh darn diggly dang minute. A ding dang diddly darn minute. Okay.
So
Ella
what's the Book of
Marzulli
Enoch?
believes in lost ancient high technology. I know that because he
Wonderful.
often would go on trips and produce DVD things and do stuff with Brian Forster, who is also another proponent of lost ancient high technology.
Is he
Their entire philosophy is that you can't stack rocks on top of each other because that's too hard for primitive people to do. So like somebody that was super advanced taught them how to cut stone with lasers or maybe sound, or
Wow.
potentially like electric powered tools. We're not really sure. And that's funny
straight
to
out
me
of
because it's
Aliens.
supposed to be like
Yeah.
technology, and he's over here saying that the technology that was given to humans by like fallen angels or whatever was primitive by our standards. Like, are you saying that we're now like more advanced than angels?
Well, to be clear, I think currently now we are more advanced than angels. I've never
Because
heard of anything that the angels
If we're
had.
more advanced than angels, maybe Tower of Babel Part 2.
What? Yeah, except the Tower of Babel, like, you would think. That's such a funny story.
Anyway,
Obviously
I'll stall if you don't check me.
Okay, I would like to welcome in Bonrick, our newest cult member.
Yes.
reports to the moon and all this stuff.
Yes, learning about how the stars move around, that's definitely something you need to be taught from angels that you can't just look at for yourself.
Wait a minute. In the first story in Genesis, didn't God put the stars in the sky so that we could learn about
For signs and seasons, yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, there was this like Second Temple era fanfic of the Bible called Enoch. There's more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You mentioned that. And
And,
Enoch, did Enoch say that it was the angels that taught us?
Fallen angels. The Book of Jubilees also goes into
specifically the fallen ones, of course.
Enoch is more specific about like what the angels or fallen angels taught humanity. Weapons, art, makeup, specifically how to do your eye makeup. So I guess thanks. There's some other things like astronomy, magic, conjuring.
What do you mean astronomy? Like looking at the sky?
And astrology.
Was this like an ancient version of Don't Look Up? Probably.
Other stuff for access to the population. Do you think something like that might be happening with the abduction phenomena today?
Yeah.
Do we want to go back to the beginning of that sentence or not?
No.
Okay.
I do.
It's not going to make any more sense.
That's what I thought. Okay, something abduction phenomena today. Okay.
He's
Enough
related
said, though.
to fallen angels and demons, like I just said. That's what he thinks.
Yeah.
And even show this biblically, that there is some kind of limiting factor, and I think this is the Holy Spirit.
They're going to
there is
quote
some
Daniel.
limiting factor into what they can do. I'm convinced that they can't. After Genesis 6, I think one of the things, and again, we're not given a whole lot of detail. But
Okay, can you pause for a second? This is a pet peeve of mine. When you're speaking off the cuff, you can take just a millisecond to compose your thoughts and finish a complete sentence. That would be fantastic.
Well,
This guy started about 4 different sentences and not finished any of them.
I might be a little biased here.
Yeah, I'm not going to be. I'm not. That's not something that I'm ever going to be in a position to call somebody out on.
Team ADHD over here.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I can't follow their train of thought when they don't finish a sentence.
Oh no,
you're
not supposed to follow their train of thought.
Any circumstances. So there's that. Sad, but no, I totally get it. There is absolutely something to be said for being like, wait, hold on, we were talking about this. Let's focus on this. There was a thought that was started and not quite completed, and I would like to know the complete version of it so that I can actually fit it into reality.
It's less that he had a thought and more that he had a feeling and a general idea and just hadn't put words around it before. So he's trying off the cuff and is not necessarily going the way that.
Yeah, and I'm very.
My sister is reading my mind right now. She's in the chat. She said their trains derail, bless their hearts.
Oh, yeah, real quick for Tikas. Yes, aliens and fallen angels, which are the same thing, apparently. And I'm sorry, who were you looking at? What was the comment you were looking at, Vishanti?
Oh, my sister.
Oh, is your sister here?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, sister. They great what do you call it? Oh my god, great channel. Great YouTube channel. 2 thumbs up. All right, let's go.
One of the things, one of the curses, one of the restrictions that was put on them is that they can no longer reproduce with humankind in the way that they did to call.
We're talking about the Nephilim.
Where is he gonna support this textually? Let him cook. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Okay, yeah, but so what we're talking about is fallen angels. I don't know if he has used the word Nephilim yet.
He will probably, but he's gonna say that they can't reproduce with people anymore, and I am interested to find out where he gets that textually, because he said he can show it from the Bible. So
yeah.
Cause the whole Genesis no longer reproduce with humankind in the way that they did to cause the whole Genesis 6.
Right.
Can they reproduce of a different kind?
Oh, I see. So there's a way that they could breed with humans before,
but now they can't do it
breed
that
specific way now. So if they breed with people, they're not going to make giants and Nephilim. They're going to make something else.
I guess. Horcruxes, probably.
Mess in the first place.
I agree.
Now, what's interesting though is the son of perdition. That literally translates to the son of Satan. Like,
excuse me, what?
Son of Satan.
Right.
Mess in
the
son perdition. That literally translates to the son of Satan. Like.
I agree.
Is he Mormon, by the way? Because that's like a big thing in Mormonism, is the son of perdition.
I don't know. Chat, are there any Mormons in the chat? Can anyone help
There's
us out?
one, I know, but I was just wondering, like, if this
Mad up on my Mormonism. I am so sorry.
Caden, do you know if this guy's Mormon?
Okay, so there's 3 mentions of that in the New Testament. Oh man, it's going to require me to look up Greek. I don't feel like doing that right now, but I can guarantee you it doesn't mean son of Satan.
Yeah, no. Let's just go with no on that, and they're
Okay.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably a
They're
safe
another
bet.
nonsense.
We do have a question from Mark Agamotto. Is Satan even actually mentioned by name in the Old Testament?
Not as a proper noun, the way that Christianity would later come to think of it. The word Satan just means like adversary or opponent. It's a role that people can fulfill. You could be the adversary in a courtroom, prosecution versus defense. It could be an adversary on the battlefield. It could be an opponent in just whatever kind of conflict that you have. The later Christian idea that the Satan is a separate entity that does that all the time, aka the devil, that was a much later invention, and it wasn't something that's native to the Hebrew scriptures. So the word Satan is found, but as far as it being like a person or the devil, that's not really.
Yeah, there's not a fallen angel that works explicitly to thwart all the what do you call it? All the gods.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the strongest
Yeah.
case you're gonna get for anything that's even remotely close to that is like reading the book of Job, because
Yeah.
there's a Satan.
But
One
even
of
then,
them.
when you
I was gonna ask because I like in this translation, this is a new international version. It says so. This is Job chapter 1 verse 6. One day the angels came to present themselves before the Lord and Satan, and it's capital S.
yeah,
Now,
but if you
in English,
yeah,
And
I mean
Okay,
that's
you know what? I'm gonna fact check that just real
that's a
quick. 'Cause I wanna make
translation. It
Well, I want to
should
make
be
sure that I get the.
Yeah, no, I'm yeah. This is
Yeah.
this printing. For all I know, it's a detail of the printing.
well,
I'm
yeah,
not
no, I
agreeing
mean
with you.
English
I'm-
Bibles do take a lot of liberties.
Yeah,
Well,
they do.
my personal,
Especially the
I have a
NIV.
personal kind of beef with the NIV because
Yeah, because the NIV.
it tends to overly paraphrase a text
Yeah.
to where it just kind of drains all the meaning in the.
Yeah.
Well,
Poetry
or
out of
writes its own meaning onto it.
All right, you said that was what verse again? I don't.
Job 1 verse 6.
6. Okay. Let's see. B'nai Elohim. Okay, sons of the. Okay, so that's probably the heavenly council. B'nai Elohim. So came Gam Hasatan, the Satan or the Satan, the adversary, the opponent. That's all that means.
Right.
There's not really a need to capitalize it.
There's not a need. But I mean, also, like if you go probably in the New Testament, there's going to be a number of things where it's talking about hell, and hell isn't really in the Bible either.
I mean, it's going to mention Gehenna,
which is a city.
Gehenna,
but it's
Gehenna.
yeah,
it's a valley. There's a valley.
well,
of
right.
Sodom.
I'm sorry. You're right.
It was my understanding is it was an area that.
Yeah, where there was
among
fire,
other things like
where they burned trash. Yeah, it wasn't a place that sinners went when they disobeyed God.
No, that's a later thing. So yeah, hell's not really a thing in Judaism and early Christianity. Like everybody had a general afterlife place or underworld that they went to. The idea of hell, like we think of it, that's much later. And yeah, Dabberdiner, that's my favorite person.
Somebody came out of hiding to say hi.
And yeah, like there are some places, like I agree with the Holy Spackle, but there are some places in the NIV that has a really good turn of phrase, because it's trying to be easy to understand and it's trying to be easy to read for English speakers. Because we all know the King James is really a slog to get through. So
yeah,
it does some good work. Because when I read, I tend to read for study purposes and not for any kind of like devotional purposes. I don't use the NIV because it's not meant to be studied. It's meant to just be read. So.
And well, Dr. T, congrats on completing a month.
So this is silly. When you do a 1 month member milestone chat, you can't even write anything in it.
Anything. Aw.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Nothing.
Twitch lets you do it, but
even one emote would be worth something.
Yeah.
Like one
And-
channel emote would.
Unrelated to channel memberships, the Holy Spackle says, I feel like the NIV gets a little too much hate. I would argue it's better than the King James. It just depends on what
Well-
purpose you're using the text for. If you're just reading it for devotional purposes, go for the NIV. That's fine. Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was as a Christian, that was my go-to
yeah.
Bible.
Because like there's
Great
good
study
reading,
Bible.
there are good reading copies, and then there's good study copies, and they're
Yeah.
usually not the same. There's
And
versions
you
of the
should-
Bible that I would use, like the New Revised Standard Version or the Oxford Annotated Bible, that I would use for study and like lexical stuff. But if I was just going to read narratively, I would pick a different translation. So.
Oh, and before we move on, I do want to thank Ember for joining another month to the cult. Thank you, Ember. We love you. We love you. We love you.
Boom. Okay. Okay, so
Anyway.
this is funny. I'm looking at the caption.
God, I can't believe they're going to make me look up Greek. I hate it.
Oh, wait a minute. So Caden is saying, I have to say, most Mormons don't really believe in traditional idea of hell. We do, however, believe that after we die, we end up either spirit paradise or spirit prison. Oh, this is new. This is new information.
This is something that I'm at least vaguely aware of. I'm sure I will not be able to do as good a job as Caden would be able to do, but my understanding is that you sort of go to like a spirit prison, which my sense is it's sort of like purgatory, but probably there's a big difference somehow. But you're not being tortured. You're being held there until you realize and accept the like truth of whatever the truth is that you need to accept, I guess. And once you do, then you enter into some sort of existence, which is like pretty nice. So
I knew it.
Mormonism does not have like a hell.
You know what? I was just about to say this, Spackle, where I'm like, is this so they just have purgatory in heaven? Because again, grew up Catholic, and so that really sounds a lot like purgatory.
There's different levels of heaven, and like you get your own planet and stuff.
Celestial kingdom.
I did hear about that.
Celestial kingdom there, and then there's a whole. It's like a tiered system. So you have a super chat, and then I went and fact checked this guy. So.
Oh, I do have it. Ember, stop spending money on me. Everybody, go to Ember's next stream and give her money because she needs money. $2 from Ember. Member letters is based on money like Super Chat. Oh, I didn't know that about Super Chats. I always just give $5. But so if you give like $10, you get to like put more letters. Is that how that works?
Don't think so. I think it's also proportional to how long you've been a member, because I'm pretty darn sure. Well, okay, I was going to use the example of my last like super membership milestone chat in Dapper Dinos because I finally like leveled up to the next awesome one, but I also am the highest tier of membership on Dapper Dinos. People should go.
I don't know. When I'm a Patreon or a patron, I never feel compelled to also be a member. But since you feel compelled to give memberships, I'm out of my membership on Dapper Dino's channel. So when he goes live Tuesday night, you should gift until I get one.
Wait, people pay for Dapper Dino?
Okay, so.
All right, what were you saying, Prashanti?
So this guy says that the son of perdition, in his own words, he said that's literally Satan or the devil, the son of Satan. It does not literally say that. The specific verse in like 2 Thessalonians, that's son of lawlessness, anomios, which is against law, because nomos is law. So anomo or anomian is against law or anti-law or whatever. So that's son of lawlessness. That's not literally the son of Satan. Same thing with John 17. That's a slightly different Greek word, which I asked Dapper to do, and he might not. But I'm not a Greek expert. So the second word also does not mean literally Satan. It's usually translated as perish or loss. So son of loss, son of destruction, maybe. doesn't.
Oh, you mean so he's full of shit? I am shocked.
Yeah.
Shocked, I tell you.
Yeah. How about
Also,
that? Mm,
Mark Agamato, please let me know if I'm mispronouncing that, has given us $2. So give Ember more money to give to you.
anyway,
Not optimally, but like you can give us money, and you can also give Ember money. And let me think. No bad dino, no spam, pizza.
Pizza
Sorry.
for Bent pizza.
It's kind of this running joke I've had with Dapper like five years ago or so. He was talking about like all the different ways he could cook spam, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Stop that now.
okay, so the Holy Spackle says a lot of times they're trying to figure out what it's saying in the Hebrew because most people aren't Hebrew scholars, so they lean on rabbinical text. You don't actually read the rabbinical text. I don't know any Christians who spend time outside of like people who are quote messianics that spend any time in rabbinical text. You're just relying on translators and commentators, like from generally pastors and other Christians. I literally don't know Christians who spend any time in rabbinical literature. They usually consider it, yeah, well, those are just men's opinions, but then they'll pick up something by like John Darby or R.C. Sproul and be like, oh, I love this. I love their perspective on this one thing. And it's like, okay. Yeah, I don't know any pastors that would be like, hang on, let me pull out the Rambam commentary on this. I'd be like, what? Like, you read rabbinical Hebrew? Like, all right.
His son.
Yeah.
And Satan, as far as we can tell, he's not in the abyss. So, and we know that part of the punishment of these watchers for committing this specific sin was they're in the abyss now. Satan's not in there. So I don't think Satan was one of these. I don't think he reproduced with humanity. I think he...
Okay.
Okay, hold on. So the what they're referring to, and I'm not convinced that they clarified all of this earlier, but maybe they did.
This is part two. They rambled quite a bit in part one. Most of it was just what do you call it? The Area 50, is it 51?
51, Area 51.
And how that, I don't know. Then they waved a magic wand and ta-da, gray aliens. And then after another wave of the magic wand, Nephilim. Great. So Area 51 was gray aliens. Gray aliens equals Nephilim. And yeah.
What amuses me about particularly L.A. Marzulli and his specific camp of folks is they are almost always fundamentalist Christians, and that's hilarious because they read the Book of Enoch constantly, and they take what it says as pretty much being true. So that's funny to me, but they usually reject the rest of the Apocrypha or the Deuterocanon. Like if you said, hey, can you pull out the Book of Tobit? They'd be like, well, that's not the Bible. But if you start talking about Enoch, like first Enoch specifically, they'll be like, oh yeah, it talks about the Watchers, and they spend so much time reading the Book of Enoch that it may as well be canon for them. Like
it sounds like it is canon, honestly.
Yeah. It's just funny to me. It's ironic that they're just usually fundamentalist Christians who are ignorant of the Deuterocanon or consider it not canon, and yet they just love.
Oh my God! You know what? I since we have a certain dapper dinosaur in here, I want to go on record as saying I had a certain emoji first, and then what do I see when I go into his chat?
You did not have it first, Maya.
Oh,
in a million
on.
years, you did not have it first. No, I told you when you first brought it up, I was like, you should ask Dapper Dino to borrow his emoji.
No. You said that about the citation needed because you didn't like my original one.
I said that too. I also said it about the AIG.
No, you didn't, because the bag of dicks was my that was like the next. That was like, oh my God. We had the original 5, and then I got it again, and then
he has had both of those emojis since before this channel was monetized.
He has not had the bag of dicks for that long.
He
I would have noticed
absolutely
that.
Yeah,
has. I
Yeah.
will bet my life on it.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
Well, that just sounds like you're a bad fan of Dapper Dino.
No, I am the first fan of Dapper Dinosaur. Go fuck yourself. Well, other than Ben. Nobody's been there longer than Ben.
I hate it when mom and dad are fighting.
What? No, all we do is fight here.
Yeah, he's got so Dapper's it's the eggplants, which
Okay.
Oh yeah, he has the eggplants. I have a bag of dicks. Anyways, he does have a bag of eggplants, which is funny. Nobody use. I just saw somebody use it the first time the other day, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah, it's been around a hot minute.
Also, we need more whatchamacallits in the chat because Dapper doesn't have he's not a tapioca weasel, and that's sacrilege. So we need more members or cultists.
Cultist. Cult power. Weasel cult.
You know what? I mean, I talk about Twitch a lot. Not that I'm on Twitch, but I do like on Twitch, you can actually click on somebody and give them specifically a membership.
Yeah.
I do like that about Twitch.
Yeah, that being said, if that was the way it worked on YouTube, there have been multiple times when I have been trying to gift a particular person a membership and have had to spend like $120.
Not all of us are Daddy Warbucks, right? So, like they've gotten like if I could just gift something to somebody, I'd probably spend more on memberships. Like my
you would. I would.
Yeah. Well, okay. I am not you.
Don't try to gift me a membership
if I could like actually gift certain people memberships.
I haven't gone through the effort of trying to. It's like my account can't receive memberships because it's a brand account, and seriously? I don't want to jump through the 87 hoops to try to move my channel, but then do this thing and not delete videos, but then also no.
What? No. Your what's a brand account?
It's the
It's a whole thing anyway. Just
we have explained this in great detail numerous times in Dapper Dino side chat when I've been trying to give people memberships.
I don't have time to listen to side chat. Like I don't have to like look at well, okay, there's up front when Dapper first got monetized, all I did was look at his side chat because he attracted a fuck ton of trolls. And now everybody's just like really cool and chill. And he's kind of on while I'm working. And that is optimal for me. So, I mean, if you guys are like talking about stuff in the side chat, good for you. But I'll look at the side chat in the beginning if I happen to be there just to say hi to people. And then I check out until he's wrapping up. Like
I'm a real big fan. I don't listen to anything you say, but yeah, hey, I'm just here.
No. I'm a real big fan. I only listen to shit you say.
Okay.
Also, Vonrick, thank you for gifting 10 tapioca memberships too. Nara the Atheist, Holy Spackle, Dapper Dinosaur, way to go. Dr. Don Hogg, which I believe is Ember's alt account. Stephen Hawley, Stephen Walsh, Mr. Squiggle, and Omnivore. I can relate.
I know Omnivore. I know Omnivore. Omnivore is one of the other people who is really into the Flurf sided Discord with me. Hi, Omni. I don't know if you're here. You're probably not.
Flurfs. God.
R.I.P. your psyche.
Fuck those guys.
Facilitated some of it, but I don't think that he actually did it himself.
Satan.
So imagine, and this gets into something that I've been thinking about for a while.
I'll bet.
So imagine, let's say that restriction is the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit's work through Christians, and the world, and in the church age. I mean, you can even look back to ancient church fathers and see like how like the power of Apollo was diminishing to where he couldn't even speak through his oracle anymore, only because of the presence of Christians in the room at the time.
Buddy.
So
I'll take things that never happened for 1,000.
Yeah.
I think that there is a documented trail showing the diminishing of the powers of darkness in the early church to how much they could physically interact.
Of course. They think that foreign gods are actually opposing spiritual entities that are like demons that have like, well, okay, the ancient Near Eastern view of gods was that they were regional or territorial or tribal gods. So there was a god for like Assyria, there was a god for the Babylonians, so they were restricted to that area. So if
Right.
your god, your nation destroyed another nation or beat them in a battle, then your god was like more powerful than theirs. Like my dad can beat up your dad.
Yeah.
So in early Christianity, there's this idea that like, well, our God's actually like the mega supreme God that's like above all the other ones. Like, we're gonna let you finish, but ours is the best. So their spiritual powers were gradually diminished because the real God took over and like stole their powers and stuff. Like a cosmic rogue. Rogue from the X-Men. Not rogue from D&D.
But I think that has to do with how many Christians are around, how much influence does the Holy Spirit have in that certain location?
Wait, hold on. Is Holy Spirit efficacy like dependent on
Depends on how many
geographical
Christians are there.
location? Well, okay, that's a
We're
different
getting
thing.
into some Neil Gaiman territory right here, aren't we?
Being dependent on the proximity of Christians is one thing. Being dependent just on the location on Earth, absent the other thing,
Like I
is a
said,
whole other ballgame.
yeah, there's this whole idea of like regional territorial spirits. So usually that idea comes a lot from Daniel, the book of Daniel.
And so I think for a long time they've been playing this game behind the scenes and setting the stage. So the Son of Perdition thing. Now, when I believe that the rapture is, the catching up, that's when the restrainer is removed. There's no.
Did we talk about the rapture at all before now?
Uh,
Did that word come up? I do not know if that word has come up in this video before now.
Well, this is also part 2 of an interview. So
yeah, I mean,
open
because I'm trying to remember, part 1 was a lot of like setting up what the aliens are, which again, if you understand Enoch and
it doesn't even matter because it's not really going to be coherent.
right. Also is talking about like the media and they're going to call us crazy and we've got to, something Jesus. I don't know. That's a good question. This video, no.
Yeah, this video so far, the word rapture has not occurred, and like I don't know.
It's all right. Let him
More
cook.
Okay, let him cook.
Restraining anymore.
Yep.
And I think this is when those restrictions are lifted.
I love sad
So
weasels.
now Satan can impregnate a woman. And there's a lot of people that say, yeah, but you only have 7 years.
Oh,
What, are we
okay.
gonna have a-
So he's talking about like, he thinks that like there's a metaphysical dam preventing this tidal wave of evil supernatural influence. And once the rapture happens, those, good Christians that are holding back the evil spirits, they're going to be gone off the earth. So the dam's going to break. And all the evil spirit influence is going to run rampant across the earth, and Satan's going to get a woman pregnant with the Antichrist.
Yeah.
I guess that's what's actually happening because I can't really tell what he's saying. Like, is Satan one of the fallen angels that were impregnating people that led to the flood?
That Satan's not allowed to do that for whatever reason. That's specifically.
Okay, if all your buddies running around fucking bitches, why wouldn't you? I really don't understand this.
Because you got no game?
Maybe he's going to explain why Satan didn't get laid till now, I guess.
We'll see.
The toddler Antichrist? Well, not necessarily, because it's not the rapture that starts the 7-year tribulation. It's the signing of the covenant with many. And we don't know how much time between those 2 points there
Oh my God.
There-
I've literally, look, y'all, I grew up in the Deep South. I've listened to so many Southern Baptist preachers talk about the rapture and the tribulation and all that.
Mhm.
I have never heard anybody that's pre-trib rapture say that the tribulation begins with the signing of a covenant. They always say that it's like starting with the rapture itself, and that whatever covenant happens, it gets broken halfway through, and then like the real bad stuff happens. But what?
Yeah, no, I've never heard anything else. Like, this is like I was today years old when I found out that it could start any other way.
There could be 20 years between the rapture and the signing of a covenant. Are you kidding me with this?
Thank you, Savage.
Savage, perpetual motion lungs, Cobra. Holy condom is stopping the demon. A holy condom is stopping the demons. We don't know that the demons are being stopped. And according to these two idiots, they're not. They're here doing shit in the background. But then there's whatever the fuck they're talking about now. It's hard to explain because they will say things that contradict and other things they say. So,
oh, thank you, Von Reck. I forgot about that. South Park explained it. Satan's gay. That's why he wasn't fornicating with women.
Oh yeah, thanks, Von Reck.
He was in a relationship with Saddam Hussein. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. Always coming in the clutch.
Yeah.
A week, a year, we don't know.
A week, could be 40 years. Yeah. And I've thought about this too. How deceptive would that be for people? Like, say the rapture happens, a lot of people know at least one Christian friend that has said something about a rapture, even if they don't believe in it. They at least they're aware of the concept. But
and
most
are
people
probably
aren't.
Laughing at it.
Yeah, to be clear though, he did say the sentence, a lot of Christians know at least one, or a lot of people know at least one Christian friend who has talked about the rapture. And that's a true statement. So I'm going to take a drink.
Yeah, but anyway, keep going. I was really
biblically astute enough to know that that doesn't actually start the rapture. And then
honey, they're not biblically astute enough. You're not biblically astute enough. The rapture is so new in Christian history that it was practically 5 minutes ago in terms of history.
There are many people that are alive before the rapture was like a thing. I'm pretty sure, right?
Even today, the vast, and I mean overwhelming majority of people who identify as Christians worldwide do not believe in a rapture.
Yeah.
That is exclusively for a very small subset of evangelical fundamentalists.
Well, I guess all those people are going to be left behind.
Well, obviously. Tim LaHaye wrote about it.
Excuse me. So imagine a day comes, millions, however many Christians, like a bunch of people disappear. Now you got UFOs and aliens may or may not be taking credit for it.
Stop for a second. Have either of you heard this one under here?
Satan
has no body because he's rebelled against the Heavenly Father.
It sounds like Mormonism.
Caden is a Mormon.
No, yeah. Caden was speaking on behalf of the Mormon Church, not for all Mormons.
That's outside
obviously.
My area.
Yeah, but I haven't heard this.
We're joking, Caden. For the record, we understand that you do not. Speak
no. I'm saying
people.
that you're not speaking for all Mormons.
Represents all Mormons worldwide. Like no.
Yeah, no.
Nobody would want that job.
I speak on behalf of the old guard Catholics. Apparently, there's some new Catholics that believe different stuff, and they're weird to me. But
drag cats.
No, they're actually
whatever.
I do not agree with trad calves. I will say this again. I do not agree with trad cats. However, I do understand them, and I know where they're coming from. I just believe they're wrong.
Producer Wes is asking a question. With John's revelation, does it talk about a rapture? And I've personally heard after a rapture is like 7 years of purgatory, practically, that if you make it alive in such that long, you are raptured too.
I thought the tribulation period was 7 years, and then
first of all, there's multiple camps of people that believe the rapture, like when it's going to happen. Some are pre, some are mid, some are post tribulation. So they're already that's muddy waters.
Fair.
There is not a rapture in Revelation. That's not a concept that you generally can support scripturally from Revelation. Some people have stretched to get there, but usually the idea of a rapture is supported from the Gospels, like specifically a couple of parables by Jesus, and then like one of the epistles. I don't remember if it's explicitly Paul's epistles or one of the pseudo-Pauline epistles, but it's almost never justified with Revelation. They talk about like the tribulation a lot using Revelation, but the rapture itself is not something that's usually supported textually that way. Does it talk about rapture? Because that's the first part. I heard after the rapture is 7 years of purgatory. I think you meant tribulation. But yeah, like I said, there's at least three different camps about when that's supposed to happen. So, anyway,
Thank you.
Crazy. It's a crazy mess out there.
Thank you for clarifying that. Because like I said, these two talk a lot about a lot of stuff, and it conflicts.
That's what I was gonna say.
It conflicts with what they already said previously.
Mark Agamotto is reading my mind. When I said not usually, the only time you can stretch it is when John is about to begin receiving visions, and he says that he was caught up in the Spirit on the Lord's Day. And the Lord's Day was understood at the time, like in apocalyptic Judaism and early Christianity, to mean a single judgment day where like the whole earth is going to get renewed. So when he's saying I was caught up in the Spirit, like he's referring to like receiving prophetic visions and possibly a trance. But I've heard Southern Baptist preachers take that specific phrase and go, well, he was caught up in the Spirit, so that's the rapture of all Christians. And it's like, that's a stretch, but
no, I've heard that a lot.
I've heard it. It's just I consider it a stretch, but hey, whatever.
But a lot of people, once that happens, they're going to think, I remember something about a rapture. This has got to be it. And you'll probably have a lot of people get saved. But imagine 7 years goes by, no Antichrist, no four horsemen, no plagues, nothing. It's just the world rebuilding itself, basically.
Right.
Well, after a while, people are going to start losing their faith. Those people will.
Here's the thing. I understand. There's a lot of people who would disagree with me on this. I want to say some stuff first. There's a lot of people who might disagree with me on this, but if you suddenly had the physical, as far as we can tell, simultaneous disappearance of a lot of people, a high proportion of people that also like believed in that sort of thing, and they just vanished all at the same time one day, that would be some pretty crazy awesome evidence that something's
that would make a good
on.
TV show. Somebody should get on that. Maybe they can name it The Leftovers.
But like if that happened,
how does the rest of the world not just instantly believe in Christianity, which is the only religion to my knowledge that's like...
The argument would be that logically speaking, they're not, because you haven't proven that that's the thing. But that I think that that's a little bit disingenuous. I think that you have a thing which did predict that, and then that happened.
Look, this is part of their wish fulfillment fantasy where Christianity's ultimately going to win at the end. So these moments of see, we were right. They also
the persecution complex.
So they want to feed this narrative oh, well, you see, all of us poor Christians who tried to tell you the truth and you laughed at us and we were so persecuted, woe is me. When we're going, you'll see we were right all along, and then everyone's going to get saved and everyone's going to live in the kingdom of Christ. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Bro.
If you suddenly had 500 million or 1 billion people just vanish,
it wouldn't even be close to that many. Even optimistic evangelicals don't think it's that many. But be generous. Sure, give them 1 billion.
Yeah.
I don't care. Sure, give them 1 billion.
Yeah, but the only other option that I can think of that makes any sense would be literally a prank by extraterrestrials. Can you think of a better naturalistic explanation?
Do you think they have a giant red abduction button and they're just going, LOL?
I'm thinking that it's the only naturalistic explanation.
No, that would be funny as shit, though.
It'd be hilarious. That HBO should totally make a TV show about.
Yeah, like I said, this would be a great TV show. You could even call it The Leftovers. I'm just spitballing. You can have that one for free. I don't need a producer credit.
Yeah. Is
I mean,
that
you could
the
go
only
for at
one?
least 2 seasons, right?
Didn't they
At least
cancel?
2. I didn't watch it.
I think they canceled it after like I could be wrong, but I think they canceled it
I
after
was too busy
Sure.
watching Deadwood to care about much else afterward.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Seems silly. Now imagine 30 years goes by. Well, now you have a generation of people that are born post-rapture, so they don't have the same kind of respect for it that people that lived during it would. Like 9/11, you and I both lived.
Okay, yo, people flying into a skyscraper with an airplane is not the same thing as a large number just totally vanishing all at once.
let me translate this guy. We won't be able to scaremonger folks. That's what he means when they say, "Oh, they won't have as much respect for it because they didn't live through it." You can't scaremonger people with fears of missing the rapture if everyone's already been raptured, and then you have like this indeterminate amount of time where kids are being born and they're not able to be threatened with it anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Through that, so
Yes.
we have
Yes.
a more one-on-one kind of personal, like a different kind of respect than somebody who was born after that, like
Listen,
than my kids would.
I
You know,
don't
they-
have
they
a respect for stuff after 9/11. I'm pissed off because people have to take their shoes and their belts and their coats off at the airport when that's ridiculous and has not prevented any incidents on a plane. And it's like you have all this extra screening, the lines are longer, it's more difficult to fly.
To be fair, how do you know?
Like, oh, we should have more respect for that because we lived through it. Like, yeah, I remember all the war hysteria and the Islamophobia. Like, what are you talking about respect? Get out of here with that nationalist nonsense.
Yeah.
Soapbox moment.
but not in a way of like living through it. And so you have those people, and they're going to think, like, how can
I'm
anybody
sorry.
think this is the rapture?
One
It's
more
been
thing.
way-
Also, unless that guy was in Manhattan or at the Pentagon, he didn't live through it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Like, there's people who can have legitimate claims to trauma and like fear responses. I don't think he's one of them.
longer than
Fair.
7 years, and nothing, everything is going on as it always has, and then I could see at some point something happening where that signing of the covenant is done, and that kicks off the 7 years. It also might explain why throughout when you read Revelation, it's like, man, these people go back and forth. They repent, they stop repenting. They repent, they stop repenting. It might be that.
Yeah,
They might have had
so it's
30
almost
years,
like
30, 40
it's a
years.
polemic or something. Yeah. Go figure. Right?
Yeah.
It's almost
Between
like
the
those are
rapture-
narrative devices.
Right.
By the
No,
way,
that can't be right.
Do either of you know off the top of your head what the actual definition of polemic is? Because I kind of have an intuitive understanding of what it means, but I don't actually know. Dapper, if you're to hear.
I'm less
I-
prescriptivist than I used to be, so I'm not going to be like, this is the definition, but most people
Well-
use it to mean a story or narrative that is arguing against a specific philosophy. or
Yeah.
other
And
narrative.
just looking at it now, dictionary.com, obviously. Wait, is that Oxford? I'm sorry. Oxford Dictionary says a speech or piece of writing expressing a strongly critical attack on or controversial opinion about something, someone,
hit
or
piece.
something. A hit piece. Yeah. And that's what I was, that's usually when I'm talking to my kids about different narratives in the Bible. I'm like, it's a diss track. You know?
Yeah, exactly. They're like my favorite go-to example, and I'm giving credit to Dr. Josh Bowen from Digital Hammurabi for this one, is that
Yeah.
the flood narrative in the Bible is largely a polemic against the Sumerian flood legend and flood
Mhm.
myths. They didn't rip it off or steal it or copy it. It's that they are intentionally inverting some of the narrative in order to make their particular like gods seem better and more involved, because the Sumerian gods tended to be like, ew, humans, and they didn't really want anything to do with us, and they kind of thought that we were scummy. And the biblical flood narrative is like, no, actually God's really invested in us and cares about us a lot. So if we do stuff that, God doesn't like, then he's going to do something about it. Whereas like the Sumerian gods were like, yeah, we're just going to piss off and leave them to their own devices. So
Yeah, or like the best one was when it went through the I said the best one. One of my favorites because there's so many. But like when Lot Like he's supposed to be the best guy in the land. Like this is the best guy.
Right.
So he like narrowly escapes death. And then the first thing he does is run off into the desert, gets drunk, fucks his daughters. And then their babies are like the first
Enemies.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
is it the Edomites or something like that? Like
Moab and
or Moabites, yeah, one of those. But like somebody who's just like a known like
it's their
adversary
ops.
of
It's the origin story of their ops.
right, exactly. That's all it is. I say that's all it is. I mean, there's a bunch of things to
I mean,
take
there's
that you could take out of it, but I mean that in a nutshell is like basically what it is. And it's just like, yeah, you guys are just like,
this is, I mean,
you
here's
know,
a big fancy word for you. It's an ideology
right.
for how those particular people came to be their opponents.
Right. I mean, yeah,
Saying,
but like
haha,
not in
you're
a
just
way that
you're
anyone
just
would
the
be proud
offspring
of.
of some incest was a great way to delegitimize them. So
Right. Exactly. And so when I think of a polemic like that for me is like one of the quintessential ones. Like this is what you do. But Weasel, if you're there, we can keep moving.
In the beginning of the tribulation to deal with. I would never teach that as doctrine. It's a possibility.
Well, it's just,
something I could. Yeah.
No. I mean, I agree with you. There's a lot of push and pull. We don't know how it's going to come down. I mean, we really don't. I believe that the AC is walking around on the planet now. That's my personal belief. I can't prove it.
They've been saying this for decades, literally. When I was a kid, I used to hear people say, "Well, we think the Antichrist is alive right now. He hasn't been revealed yet."
Oh, no.
Like, I think the Antichrist was born like at the end of World War II, around the time that the modern state of Israel was founded. I'm like, oh, and I remember looking at the calendar going, oh, he'd be about 80 right now. Okay.
Obama's the Antichrist, didn't you know?
Yeah. Really.
Oh, God.
Facts.
I saw a meme. I saw many a meme on that.
So many memes.
It must be true.
So many QAnon memes.
Had quite a few bangers during that election cycle.
And we can discuss it till the cows come home. I just think that one thing I think we can agree on is that things are sliding down. They're not getting better.
Oh yeah.
Well, okay. If you just look at the second law of thermodynamics.
Oh my God, he's talking about like moral degeneracy.
That's always where
society's decaying. We need to return.
Yep.
There's no amillennial thing here where we're getting better and we're finally everybody's going to get saved and Jesus will come back.
I was just talking about amillennialists. I love it.
Yeah, what is that?
So like you've got millennial referring to 1,000 years, and then amillennial, so that there's not. That's like an opposite thing. Anyway, it's a whole. It's a sidetrack.
Gotcha.
Like a millennial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Is there a reason it's amillennial instead of a millennial?
How pedantic you are! I mean,
I have a PhD in being a pedantic asshole. Okay,
he does.
So,
he does.
Indeed.
I think it was his actual major, and then the minor was atomic physics.
Anyway.
What we're looking at, it's like this. It's a dive bomb, and it's now that the Russians are talking.
The Russians.
They're saying we're out nukes for crying out loud.
The Russians are saying
now they are. That's something they've never done before.
This is new and exciting and unique.
The perennial bad guys is the Russians, and when you can't use them, the Chinese. If you can't use them in the 90s, it was the Libyans that were a big problem.
The Libyans?
Iran. Yeah.
Oh, I missed that period of.
Yeah.
God.
Wasn't that the message that was being pushed by Back to the Future? Was the Libyans?
No, the Ukrainians.
Oh, those were Ukrainians.
Was it?
Yeah, I think it was Ukrainians. Yeah.
I want to say yes.
Crazy, but I find
it is crazy.
It is crazy,
as I do that the penalty. Semyaza talks about this.
Semyaza is a character in the Book of Enoch. It's an angel.
What does this angel do? Anything interesting?
Lots of stuff. If you're interested, read First Enoch. It's
It's
interesting. I mean,
hell.
you know, it's apocalyptic literature, so it's like super adventurous.
I can't
How
Make an
long is
anime
it?
out of it.
I can't even remember the name of there's a channel that does a bunch of breakdowns of the angels in the book of Enoch. It's like a See You in History or something like that. But it's like a series of cartoons, but it really does break down like all the stuff found in like biblical literature, but not even just the canon, like the things that didn't make canon. I find so fascinating because you really see, Bria's saying it was the Libyans. So
Thank you, chat. Yes, thank you.
hey, the chat always, it's like it's somewhere over there. I'm sorry. Chat always comes through in the clutch.
Chat knows what's up.
Yeah, and I don't mind being wrong. I can be wrong. It's fine. What do you call it? You know, I'm gonna double check that, and I'm gonna send it to you. And if I can find it in
About
time.
the Libyans?
No.
Okay.
Samyaza, because there's a
Oh,
channel that breaks down
God.
all these angels,
Oh.
like all of the angels, and it's really a channel.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
I'm
I
gonna
want
stop
to
derailing the
clarify
stream.
something.
Mhm.
I just want to ask one question. I learned not crazy long ago, less than 2 years, that one of the names of the angels was supposedly Metatron. Now that sounds
Metatron,
fake.
yeah.
That sounds like
No,
something.
Metatron's a real angel.
Let me finish my rant. That sounds like
God.
something that comes straight out of 1980s cartoons. Metatron? Are you kidding me? You might as well have. Is Metatron fighting Optimus Prime?
You know, you're
Okay.
definitely the first person ever in history to have made that joke. Congratulations.
It's because it's obvious, okay? It's like
sarcasm,
the United Nations. It's
He's
like the
mad
United
that
Nations.
I didn't let him finish any of his jokes last year, so now you have to.
Last week, and I didn't say anything. You brought it up.
Are you gonna finish?
I wrote a whole book on this counter move, having Nephilim return after the flood.
See, what I tell you, shilling his own book.
Okay, this sentence I am gonna just start over again.
Legends of History. That's the channel. I apologize.
Yeah, I unfollowed him.
Russians are talking. They're saber rattling with nukes, for crying out loud. It's crazy. But I find it interesting because you agree, as I do, that the penalty. Semyaza talks about this in the Book of Enoch. And I wrote a whole book on this counter move, having Nephilim return after the flood. They know what they're going to do, but they do it anyway. They know this is a penalty, that they're going to wind up in the dungeon, but they do it anyway. And
you just want to sin.
It's just, look, well, the demons know they're condemned and they're going to get their butts kicked at the end, but, they're just going to take as many good folks down in the meantime that they can.
Yeah.
That's all he's talking about.
And where does Jesus go? The first place he goes, when he's separated from his body, he goes to Charteris. And I think it's
Charteris. Oh man, the harrowing of hell. Listen, I don't get down Christianity, but if you were gonna make an anime or a film or something about any Christian story, the harrowing of hell is absolutely one that I would go see.
Yeah, that would be pretty lit.
That would be lit.
Oh, sorry.
He's proclaiming of the fallen angels, no jailbreak, you're not getting out. But I want to get into something. It goes back to Genesis 3:15, the idea of the seed war. And then when we take that seed war and we leap over to Daniel.
Listen,
you were right, by the way.
Okay.
It took them a while, but here they are. They're talking about Daniel.
Look,
I mean, we knew it was coming.
Marzulli does not like the fact that I call him a racist. I don't care because he is. He is in fact a racist. So, first of all, it's the lost ancient high technology stuff where it's conveniently every brown culture that can't build their own, pyramids and big structures made out of rock. And then it's this thing that he calls the seed war, which he'll insist has to do with spiritual stuff, and it's not physical, and it doesn't have anything to do with race. But then you listen to him explain it. And he talks about how there is a corrupted seed from either Nephilim / fallen angels or giants or whatever. And it's
Or
demonic,
Cain.
making people like do bad things, and there's hybrids. Again, he ties it back to UFOs and abductions and stuff like that. And it's like, guy, this is just racism. You're just cloaking it in fan fiction that you got from like the Book of Enoch and your own like weird reading of Genesis.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he bothers to explain it, you'll see what I mean. But it's bad. It's bad. The seed war thing. Oof.
Chapter 2, verse 43, what we see is that their seed will mingle with the seed of men, but they will not cleave to them. I mean, oh my gosh, speak to that, please.
Yeah, so that goes in line with this whole curse or this punishment that they can't reproduce with humanity anymore the way they did in Genesis, and they can't
But he
reproduce
just
with each other
quoted
because
something that said that they would.
I'm
You're
sorry,
just
what?
not going to stay with them. Like, okay, he said that they can have kids, but they won't cleave to the people, meaning like they won't stay with them, cleaving like marriage or whatever kind of long-term relationship. And then this guy goes, see, I told you they couldn't reproduce the same way they did in Genesis. Like, bro, they have two completely different competing philosophies here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, this is hurting my brain.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's it's
And
not,
I mean, but this is what I'm talking about. It's just like you can't. Okay, I'm
Plus,
sorry.
this idea, let's just give him a time travel machine and send him back to the 1st century. If he were to walk into any early Christian church or congregation or assembly or whatever you want to call it, and start talking about angels having kids with humans, he would get laughed out of the building.
Yeah.
Because that was an idea that they explicitly did not think could happen. Because they're two different types of thing. Like, whatever stuff angels are made out of is biologically incompatible with humans.
I was
They wouldn't have used the word biology, but you know, anachronism is just trying to make a point. But yeah, that was like the book of Jude talks about this. What in the world?
Right.
This was the thing that like bothered me earlier. I was like, they are no longer able to procreate with people. I'm like, why were they ever able to? There is no reason that any of that should have worked. Okay, that the whole thing about being able to procreate with another living ball of meat depends on a whole house of cards. We don't normally think of that because we're like, okay, yeah, you're obviously not going to be able to like procreate with a dog, but fallen angels are not humans. None of that makes sense. There's no reason it should work. Why do they even have reproductive organs? Where is the sperm coming from?
Do they? That's the thing. Like,
we don't know.
So many wacky opinions on this about whether angels can have a physical form or if they inhabit a physical form. And if they do, can they somehow have kids with humans, or is it some weird hybrid thing, or is it a giant, or is it? It's like, it's.
I blame
all over the place.
I blame my friends. I blame my friends Dan and Sasha.
Why?
That's who I blame.
What?
I'm just saying. I'm just blaming random
when in
people.
doubt.
Yeah, just when in doubt, blame my buddies Dan and Sasha. That's what I'm
doing. I usually
blame. Colion Kennedy says, so if they used to be able to procreate with humans and they can't now, does that mean that they're a different kind? Creationism falsified.
I love it.
Exactly.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
Because they're immortal beings. They were never made for that. So they're in a position now. They saw what happened to the 200. Okay, they went into Tartarus. We don't want that to happen to us, but we still want to create.
Oh, those are the fallen angels. Okay, never mind.
We still want what the humans have. The humans can make families and have children, and these are the fallen angels speaking. They're like, hey, we want that. We're jealous of that. And so how can we get that? Well, I think that explains the whole alien abduction phenomenon.
Okay, let him cook because I want to hear how he explains how evil angels are using UFOs. I want to know.
What in the non sequitur was that?
He's not saying that angels are angels are aliens, but he's going to say they're using them somehow, or that they're trying to experiment to use them somehow. I want to hear how he explains this.
Okay.
Like,
The whole idea of this hybrid breeding program, because otherwise, if they were just aliens from another planet, why is it they can't figure out some other way to reproduce amongst themselves? If they were able to, I mean, we can even do that. We have women who aren't fertile or not able to have kids, and we have developed technology to where they can still have children, at least in some way.
not
so
if
why
you
do they
live in
need us?
Alabama.
Shots fired.
Oh, God.
So I don't believe this what's generally spoken
right.
about in
This is a deep UFO alien lore. I almost forgot. So there's this idea that gray
is there
aliens
something I missed?
are trying to survive from extinction. They can't reproduce anymore, so they like need to either hybridize or do something with humans in order not to go extinct. I forgot. Because like whenever you see the depiction of a gray alien, they don't have genitalia. So yeah, there's a whole thing in the UFO community about that. Sydney
Oh my
Redker.
God.
Oh, John Rapp. How you doing?
the UFO circles that it's a hybridization program because they ruin their genetics, their
Yeah,
planet's dying,
that's
whatever.
That goes back 35, 40,
Yeah.
50 years. We've heard that.
Wait,
Not
pause for
finding.
a second. I do want to thank Vandalia for not so normally when Vandalia super chats, he's paying for an ad for himself. $5 from Vandalia. Everyone knows angels are digital beings from the computer universe.
Well, I can give Vandalia an ad because Vandalia has on Vandalia's channel the first 2 episodes of the miniseries Before Earth that myself, Vandalia, and Landon Knoll and Ness are doing together, and it's great. So people should go check that out.
Indeed.
And it's about the history of the universe before Earth. And we have gotten up to the first second after the Big Bang started. So yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you for
that. All right, where's old Joshua going with this one?
Right.
I don't buy it. It's never made sense to me.
No, never.
What does make sense though is that they weren't created to reproduce, but they are jealous of humanity. They see the gifts that God has given us as humans, and they want that for themselves. But they also know that they don't want to go to Tartarus, and the judgment for that they now have learned is you go to Tartarus.
It's so funny that they taught us everything that we know in terms of metallurgy and music and astronomy and astrology and philosophy and makeup and whatever else, and yet they're jealous of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they taught us everything we know, but jealousy.
Okay.
Indeed. Yeah, no, because it makes sense, you see.
Also,
$5 from Savage. Perpetual motion lungs cobra. I don't know why that's so hard for me to say. I'm not that knowledgeable about alien abduction canon, but I think the aliens might be probing up the wrong tree. Thank you.
Tartarus. So how do they do it in an indirect way that's still doing it but not really doing it? I mean, this is how Satan works. This is how the enemy works. I think that they're doing it with these genetics and abductions and creating their own hybrids in test tubes or whatever in their craft. I think that's how they're getting around it, and that's how they're still able to make these hybrids. They're just modern day Nephilim.
I agree.
Modern day Nephilim. Oh, okay. So did they lose their genitalia after the flood?
Apparently,
how is this working? Because if you can't reproduce with people, then
apparently the guy did like a super circumcision after the fall, or
Dude,
after
no, that'd be castration. That wouldn't even be circumcision. That'd be castration. What is happening?
I don't know, but apparently that's what they're getting at. After the flood, God was so pissed off.
Do angels even have genetics?
Yeah, and that's how Nephilim appeared, and that's why we had to have the flood. Haven't you ever spoken with the evangelical ever in your life?
Yes.
You know.
Yes. I'm just like, okay, if angels have genetics, then they're physical beings and they're not supernatural. So get me a sample of angel DNA.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about like how in this mythology there's an actual dome with 7 levels of heaven, and the angels just float down. No,
I,
they are in an actual separate
hold on.
dimension. Yeah.
Is the 7 levels of heaven, is that something that's actually from anything before Dante?
Oh no, you're
No,
thinking
because
of the seven level. You're thinking of the seven
Paul
I
levels of
think
talks
it's
about being
hell.
both.
caught up to the
I
third
think it's
heaven,
both,
but he doesn't
though.
say
No, the
seven.
reason there's no in the dome, there are 7 levels of heaven. So like when people went bodily into heaven, they actually
Where
went
does it
like
say that?
instead of going to
Wait,
Sheol, they actually
where's
went.
that?
Yeah, I don't know if that's actually in the Hebrew
No.
Bible.
I'm not saying it's in
It's
the
not.
Bible. It's
Okay,
not in
yeah,
the
yeah,
Bible.
okay. That's what I
It
was
is in the
asking. That's
canon
what I
that precedes the Bible, which is what you asked for. Not
I
canon,
Okay.
but there it was.
uh
Yeah, it's
I
different
was asking
mythology. I'll
for
get you the source.
if there was I was asking for if there was a tradition of 7 levels of heaven
Yes,
before Dante. That's what I was
way
asking.
before Dante,
Possibly,
way before the
but
Bible was written. This isn't biblical.
that
Okay,
doesn't
okay,
seem
okay.
accurate
Excellent.
to me because Paul talks about being caught up to the third heaven, but he doesn't say 7.
No,
It might not be
There
Christian.
are a total of
It might
seven
be
heavens. The
pre-Judaic.
third is one of the
Yeah.
seven levels.
Y'all are gonna have to get me some sources
Well, I mean,
later
you've
I
so
never
that I
also have
heard
can
no
about
idea.
check
seven,
that.
or even this phrase, like I'm in seventh heaven.
Well,
Like
I
Yes, I've
think
heard
those
the
are
phrase,
post
but
Dante
I
though.
it
I
comes
think
from
highly
that
doubt that that originated before like Dante.
before the Bible.
I
the
can.
seven
I just
stuff
need some sources on that.
I thought it was Dante was my
No,
okay.
Dante has 9 or 11 circles of hell.
The claim
Um,
is before the Bible, so that's going to put you around like 600 to 900
I'm saying that
BCE.
I'm saying that they are
So,
not biblical. They precede the Bible.
okay, so again, before the Bible, that's going to put you around 600 and 900 BCE. So I need texts or some kind of like something that discusses 7 heavens before that time.
All right, I'm gonna have to find the source, but in mythological or religious cosmology, the 7 heavens referred to 7 levels or dimensions of the
Which
heavens.
cosmology?
Well,
Give me a
let her
second.
finish.
The concept also found in the ancient Mesopotamian religions can be found in
Which
Judaism. I don't know. I'm researching this right now. I know that I've heard about it from other people, from theologians talking about it. You're getting what I'm getting as I'm getting it. The concept also found in the ancient Mesopotamian religions can be found in Judaism, Islam, Christian Bible. It does not mention 7 levels of heavens. It mentions 3. A similar concept also found in some other religion, such as Hinduism. Some of these traditions, including Jainism, also have a concept of 7 earths or 7 underworlds, both in the metaphysical realms of deities and which observe celestial bodies, such as the classical planets and fixed stars. So Greek religion has it. Mesopotamian religion has it, and it's saying all the Abrahamics have
no
3,
Greek religion,
and
like Greek
Mesopotamian
mythology,
religion.
discusses like, hey, there's Mount Olympus where all the gods live, and then there's a place down here, and then there's the underworld. That's
Each of the
pretty
7
cool.
heavens corresponds to one of the 7 classical planets in known antiquity.
I mean, if you want, he's not going to be awake right now, but I mean, I could literally message him a Syriologist.
Go ahead. I'd
I
have to look into this
literally
more
have
because,
to
again, I haven't looked into this, and like
To be
again, we're
clear,
talking
hold
a
on.
lot of my religious shit comes from like
Mm.
years ago, and I've just
Mm.
stopped getting
We're also
interest. But I
talking about
do
a very
remember
vague
that.
proposition.
Oh,
It's a vague proposition that we're talking about. All the thing that we were asking about was, is there a
being bodily,
tradition
being
of there
taken.
being 7 levels of
Yes.
heaven, which in and of itself is a very nebulous idea. I have no idea when there, like, I would be kind of surprised if the answer was no, because there were a lot of traditions that probably said a lot of things, and probably a lot of them said different numbers. I don't know of whatever, but it's not like it. There, it's very hard to
No, in the
prove a
Bible,
negative
there's
there.
I know there's the third. It talks about the third heaven in the
I
Bible. I
literally
don't know
just said
about
that.
the other one. No, I know. I'm agreeing with you that I know it talks about the third heaven in the Bible. I don't know of the other ones, but you would assume that there would be a first and second. I do know that, and I'd have to go back. I don't know which it is, but Bart Ehrman talks about it a lot, about
Mm.
why, about people being taken bodily into heaven and why people believe this. And so he has a lot of books. And
Yeah.
I've read 3, and I watch almost every video that comes out to try to come
Mhm.
out, like to try off the
I
top
don't
of my
think.
head
Yeah.
to say which Erdman video or book I read that talks specifically about
Ehrman.
it.
There's no D.
I'm not a biblical scholar. I don't commit it to memory like that. I will find it for you. I will get it for you. But
Yeah.
I do remember Erdman talking about why people believe that people bodily went into heaven. He talks about this with I think Jesus, Mary,
Okay.
and then there's a couple of people in the the Hebrew Bible that also were believed to be taken. Enoch, I think, is one of them that were believed
And
to be
Ezekiel.
taken
Not
bodily
Ezekiel.
into heaven. And so he goes
Elijah,
into the
sorry.
traditions that lead into this thought of why people would be taken bodily into heaven, because it's not biblical. They're taking them from other traditions that were common in the day. That's all I'm saying. But I will find it for you. I will put it in the Discord.
Did we have what super chats have we? Do we have the I'm not that knowledgeable about alien
Probably not,
abduction
because they have
canon
not been looking
from
at the
Savage?
chat.
I was scrolling up.
Von Rick came out with something. Let's see. Von Rick for $2. Enoch is sent through the 7 heavens into Enoch.
I was asking for stuff pre-Bible, and Enoch is like second.
No, there's nothing in the Bible about 7 heavens. 3.
No, I was asking for
1.
pre-biblical sources.
Okay. I don't have time
That's what I was asking.
during the stream.
Yeah, this is not a thing I need right now. I'm just saying my specific parameters, if you want to answer the Vishanti challenge, is A, text or some sort of other corroborating like philosophical arguments from before the Bible was composed, which would put it at least 600 BCE or possibly 900 if you want to stretch it.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge.
All right.
Saying what? Wait, hold on.
The Vishanti challenge. All right.
And it needs to specifically mention 7 levels of heaven, not 7 planets, not 7 like days of the week. It can't just be some random mention of 7 somewhere. It needs to be levels of heaven, because that was the original thrust of the claim. Anyway, back to LA and what Josh Peck.
Well, also so Vandalia before so.
Oh, sorry.
No, I didn't get Vandalia's. Oh wait.
No, keep scrolling up until you don't recognize them anymore.
Sorry.
Yeah. And I think there's
all
one
right,
before that.
$2. Vandalia, the 7th heaven, was founded in the 2000s on the
I remember that.
yeah, it was a bunch of it was a track cats or whatever they were. Oh, 7 kids or some random bullshit. It was on the WB. I remember that.
And
I never watched it. I do remember that it was one.
We had to watch
back
that
in the days. Huh?
We watched that in health class.
Why?
They showed 7th Heaven in health class. Honestly, the specific episodes that they showed weren't that bad at actually giving decent, good examples of how to address things like peer pressure and like drugs. They were not overloaded with like Christian whatever.
It's a strong Christian show, though.
It is. It absolutely is. And it was problematic that they showed it, but I did not know it was a Christian show until several years later. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, because the dad was a pastor.
Yeah.
Well, okay. You okay.
It's like I'm not putting you on the spot.
That doesn't mean that it was. I didn't realize it was like evangelistically Christian, which it is. But that was not super clear from the episodes that I watched at the time. But I was 11, 12 years old, and this was at a time when I didn't think that homosexuality was okay. So, there's that.
I mean, there's several people in the chat agreeing with you. So,
yeah.
Totally cool.
If you go back and watch it.
Get a
I
bit
think
soon.
I think that's what's
Yeah,
going
so
on,
let's get a few more.
and how that ties in with Enoch and all that.
It's funny how, you and I
I want to be clear. I did not speed this up anymore.
have never
No, that's
really
cool.
sat down and talked shop. This is, in some ways, the first time, and I've
Yeah.
known you for years, but we've never really talked shop. And
Yeah.
here we are after, I don't know, 15, 20, whatever it is. We're talking shop when we've arrived at, the protocols of this heavenly war are in place. We're not privy to them, but we agree that the 200 Watcher Angels, they did this. I mean, Semyaza says it, that I alone will bear the penalty of his great sin. They all take the oath. They wind up in Tartarus. So it's like, oops. And they're so sure they're going to get out. They're so sure. And they almost win, except for 8 people. I mean, if they had just contaminated Noah and his sons and their wives, that's it. It's checkmate. It's over. We've got the earth. See you later, pal. But I want to get into something, throw you a curveball here.
Sure.
I remember Russ Dizdar, the late Russ Dizdar, talking about this with Therion, the beasts of the earth. So when we read the book of Revelation,
Therion. Oh my
What is
goodness.
that?
Not familiar with it.
But also, yeah, this idea the fallen angels were going to contaminate the family that survived the flood. Like, yeah, that doesn't sound racist at all.
Well, I mean, you have the God watching them very closely by that point,
Goodness.
making sure that
Got to preserve a pure seed. Like, that doesn't
Pure
sound at all
race.
like a bunch
one
of
pure race.
A bunch of BS.
Yeah, you got to purge all the impurities.
Ugh. Gross.
we see that the beasts of the earth are released, and they start killing a whole bunch of people. Now, and I realize some people are going to go, "Oh my gosh, Allah, you've completely gone off the deep end with this." Bear with me.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, the bears just went around killing people. I don't want to bear with you. That's a pun. Sorry.
Sasquatch sightings are through the roof.
Thanks for that.
I'm dead.
Sasquatch sightings.
I'm dead.
What,
Okay.
how did we get here?
Sasquatch is a beast from the earth. Okay, I got you.
So we
And is
got
Sasquatch
here.
killing anybody? Because he just said the beasts of the earth are going to kill a bunch of people. Has Sasquatch ever killed anybody? Much less lots of people?
Bree. Is Bree around?
Oh yeah, she's around.
Okay.
Has Sasquatch ever killed anybody, Bree?
Oh.
All right.
Wait, was it this show or was it Bree's show where there were multiple women complaining about having had sex with Bigfoot?
Oh, yeah. I've heard about that.
What size foot do you have to be considered a Bigfoot?
It's not really the size of your feet, though.
It's a Sasquatch. It's
Yeah.
that have big. They have big
They have
feet.
to be large and hairy as well. So.
Does my question have anything that could be approximated as an answer? Okay, never mind.
Oh yeah.
Through the roof.
Yep.
Is it possible, because they have elongated skulls?
Just let us
Are we-
stipulate that as agreed upon background knowledge that they have
Oh, yeah. All
elongated
Sasquatches
skulls.
have elongated skulls.
Has
Because
this
that's
been like
definitely
demonstrated?
not just a bunch of head binding that, indigenous people did across the world.
No.
Maya,
It's just it's the Bigfoot. They have the big heads and the elongated skulls. That's what you do.
I watched Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I hated that movie.
That doesn't sound like a real movie.
I
You'll never
loved that
it
movie
was
until the
the
last
worst
15 minutes. And then it
Indiana
was all
Jones ever. Never watch it.
You're never going to
Number two
convince me
isn't
that was a
great.
real movie. I'm sorry.
Possible
Yeah, and-
that
Couldn't have been.
So, like, somebody's talking about the sagittal crest. Yeah, this whole thing, like, he examines skulls or replications of elongated skulls from Peru. They're all normal human size. They're not giant Nephilim or Sasquatch size. They're just regular people size.
Did anybody die in the novel that Erica reviewed? Oh, that was so
Hmm.
good. What was the name? Okay,
What?
Erica Gutsick Gibbon did a whole
Hmm.
book review of a fiction novel, which is what novel means, I guess,
Right.
where the main character is a young Earth creationist, like biologist or paleoanthropologist or something.
Mhm.
And also, importantly, and most importantly, Bigfoot is real in this story.
Okay.
And it's delightful.
Okay, I missed that series. Interesting.
Yeah, Frank Peretti. Yeah. Monster
Frank
by
Peretti,
Frank
This Present
Peretti.
Darkness. Yeah.
Oh.
That's
All
what
right,
we're looking at.
I
Are these
do
guys
actually-
there?
I actually do have to go.
Ooh.
I have a meeting. I know it's really late, but stupid clobbers. So
No, that's
Terrible.
fine.
yeah.
Did you? I mean, yeah, we
I'm
never
insane.
finished.
Thank you. I've lost sanity points having to listen.
You're welcome.
to
Oh
you.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
We try to we aim to please. Did you want to go out with there's something you wanted to show
Who
or
are
talk
you? Where
about
are
or
you?
no, there's something that you want to talk about. Oh, lady. God. Lady. Politics.
Nah,
no,
that's for later. That's outside of my online life. So.
All right. Do you have anything coming up before you go?
On my channel, usually not, because that's a running joke by now that I never put anything on the channel. But
I
I'm
love
also
that
taking
joke.
I'm also taking some history classes right now, so I don't have quite as much time. But at the moment, I don't have anything planned for this week. So
Okay.
thank you for having me on.
No, thank you for coming. Thank you for opening Women's Month on the show with us. You are what do you call it? A favorite within the community. So we are so excited that you came on.
Y'all aren't sick of me yet.
No, you did. You came for an hour and 50 minutes. It's more than fair. We always go long. So
Yeah.
it's totally.
Are you
cool.
gonna be doing are you gonna be on Dapper Reacts on Saturday? Do you know?
I don't know what the plans are for that yet. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anywho.
All right. See you later. Thanks for coming. Bye. They're off. Okay. All right. Awesome. And I think did I miss Enoch? Wait, is that new? Did I already get this or no? Von Rick said Enoch is sent through 7 heavens and 2 Enoch.
Yeah, you saw that one. I don't know if you saw the earlier one, if you just keep going up from Savage. So Savage Perpetual Motion.
Yeah, it says I'm not that knowledgeable about alien abduction canon, but I think the aliens might be probing up the wrong tree. I did read that one. There's another one. And I think I read this one first. The 7th heaven was found in the 2000s.
Yeah.
And then after that, for $2, Von Rick said Enoch is sent through the 7th heavens is into Enoch. So I apologize. I'm not saying that 7 heavens is biblical at all. And I will expressly say that it's not biblical. However, the reason that they believe or that you're seeing bodily ascension and levels of heavens comes from beliefs that were prevalent in the time. And I don't know, it's late. I've been drinking. Maybe I didn't make that very clear. But I don't know. I'm not making that up. I swear to God, I heard that from theologians. I know for sure Bart Ehrman and could have been other people.
There's no D in the name.
Are you sure? Okay, sure. Ehrman.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's E.
I don't know why. Maybe people pronounce it that way.
That could be.
That could totally be. But
sorry.
you pedantic assholes. Get it. I know for a fact he's talked about that, and I'm trying to remember if there's other people that have heard talk about it, but it's not coming to mind. But again, it's 11:15 here, so there could just be something that's not coming to mind.
Well, you know what we should do? We should get Dr. Josh on the show.
I am hesitant. He has like 10 kids. I feel bad. Like I would like them to be a little older before I start asking them to come on my show.
I feel like the number 10 is an exaggeration.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I could be wrong.
People in hell feel like they want ice water. I don't know. That's got to do with anything.
Okay.
Do you have anything coming up this week?
No, not this week. I'm pretty sure next week I will be appearing on the Sunny Spot again on a show about nuclear stuff, nuclear power, maybe possibly nuclear weapons, but probably more about nuclear power and nuclear physics generally. Maybe we'll talk about cosmic nucleosynthesis. Who knows? I don't know. But we'll talk about nuclear stuff. And
Nuclear stuff. I like it.
yeah, and that'll be with Dr. David. I can't remember off the top of my head because I'm, bad at life. His last name, but he is a professor of physics. He's more of a doctor of physics than I am. So,
Okay.
and he's a nuclear.
Wait, he's more of a doctor of physics than
as
you
I
are?
recall.
What does that
He's had
mean?
it. He's had it for longer, and he's taught and published more papers and stuff than me.
How many papers have you published?
Enough.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
3. We've got 4 currently in the works, though.
God. Wait, so
But-
you do more in the lab than play duck hunt?
Barely.
All right.
Man, I really hope my boss never watches this show because I'm gonna get fired. No, I won't. I love you, Jason.
Your boss loves you.
Yeah, as far as I can tell, I have a good relationship with my boss.
Here's hoping, because I hear being unemployed is a bitch.
Yeah, me too, especially in this freaking neighborhood.
I couldn't imagine. So I hope some of your super chat money you're saving towards living in life money, because
yeah,
I hear homelessness is a bitch.
I pay $5 per square foot, which is actually a fair amount.
That's especially in your city though. I don't know how you do it. So this week I don't know what the fuck I have going up. My calendar's not open. Here, yeah, I can do this. I do have a couple of things coming up. I know on Tuesday, I believe I'm going to be with Michael Granado.
Yes. Woo! I love Michael Granado.
He is awesome. Subscribe, share his channel. So I have it, and if you go to my channel page and you on the home button or whatever, you scroll down to my appearances, I think. Yeah, something like that. And then you'll see my what does it say? Pending or upcoming. Yeah, the upcoming streams under my my appearances. Which is, this is very helpful. Michael Granado on 3/5, which is Tuesday at 7:00 p.m. And then on 3/9, which I think that's Saturday. Yeah, Saturday at 6:30 p.m. I'll be on Vandelia's channel talking about the Emancipation Proclamation. And then I believe Saturday, and I'm still trying to figure out the time, but I'm pretty sure it will also be on Saturday. I will also be on Punk Apostate's channel, going over, a vid and laughing at
Well, that sounds like
some
a terrible
knucklehead.
I love
Or
you.
what do you call them? Chuckle fucks. I like that. I prefer chuckle fucks.
Oh, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like Titan had an accident.
I should not have had an open Mountain Dew anywhere near the quantum oscillation damper control panel. And I apologize again for my inconvenience caused by the Mandela effect.
Titan, this is what happens when the monopole polarity of the circular polarization of the inductive electrostatic field.
You're talking a lot.
How am I supposed to get a good solid bit of Caesar Cobb word salad out of my mouth when this lady here is like, no, I'm not gonna let the weasel talk. I'm gonna.
I love all of you so much. And I thank you for coming to the show today. I've been a little out of it.
Please, please, I hope I got the word kick started when you kicked me, because if I didn't, then the humor was really lost.
I mean, people just look at your face and immediately start laughing. It's
Yeah, it's
you're awesome. You're awesome. You're never not awesome.
Thank you.
Yay. I've got to get a video together. Either that or I'm just gonna say fuck it and let the old video run. I really like the video. But what I found way
You
too
mean the
late.
outro? Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. I
What I
love the
found way
outro.
too
The
late
outro.
is if you slow down the music, the algorithm to 0.75, the algorithm won't pick it up.
What if you speed it up? Faster might be better.
I don't know. Everybody I've seen subverting the algorithm has slowed it down. Probably. I mean, I don't know why that wouldn't make sense. But I'm like,
Also,
maybe I'll
to
just
be
play the
clear-
video on two times speed, which is going to be way too fast.
I have a video. Let's talk shop after this.
Cool. We will do that. But yeah, we're coming up in 2 hours, which we rarely do. I'm pretty psyched about that. I'm going to end the stream. I'm going to thank everybody for coming. Next week we'll be back here with the sinister porpoise. Love her lots, and we'll be talking about something super cool that'll break your brain. So make sure that you bring something that will to inhale or to drink. Either or. Just don't come sober. And don't bring kids. Not because we don't absolutely love them. Was that credible? Like, did they? Do you think they bought that? Like, we like kids.
I doubt it. But
yeah,
I don't care.
I'm just saying, I think of the children, for the poor children's sake. Don't bring them here.
The only children that are going to be traumatized by you saying you don't like kids are your kids.
Oh, no.
And also,
they're totally
and me.
they've been listening to that for 2 decades now.
Yeah, and it traumatized them, Maya.
No, they're fine. They're fine. They will never say that. Believe me.
Because of trauma.
No. It's love. And they will
tell your kids you love them. Okay, it's not healthy to do the other thing. I'm just saying.
But just because nobody loves you.
My mom loves me. She was right here, and her love.
He talks a lot. All right, we're gonna say bye now. Bandy, say bye now.
Bye.